Oxford Park, Husbands, Oxnard, Osborne Heights, and all of those who can hear shots. Here's one, of course, to all of those who are supporters and sympathizers in the Democratic Labour Party. And of course, let me extend a very warm welcome to the two Barbados Labour Party supporters who are here listening on to what we have to say. Ladies and gentlemen, the battle is on. All gloves are off. We are in this election, which ends on May 24th, 2018, to determine the government, the political party, and the 30 parliamentarians that will determine the future of this country for the next 5 to 15 years or beyond. And I want to start by thanking the residents of St. James South for the confidence that you've reposed in me over the last 10 years, and to give you the assurance that my energy levels are even higher than they were before. And I look forward with your praise, your blessings, of course your vote, and continuing to be your parliamentary representative whenever the election is over. Kim Trudeau, let me thank you as a fellow Philippian for your entry into politics in Barbados. As Kim said earlier tonight, we have known each other for many years. When I was in short pants, and she was in skirt and blouse. And I always looked up at her. I also looked cross at her as well. But she has remained that wonderful figure. But above it all, she has remained steadfast in her commitment to the people in this country that matters most. And that is why when we spoke on the night before she formally declared as a candidate for St. Michael North, I said, Kim, you have my full support because I know from whence you have come and I know where you wish to go to. And those are the kinds of individuals. Kim symbolizes the kinds of individuals and character that the Democratic Labour Party in its 63rd year of existence is extremely proud of. She is a lady, she's bright, she's competent, but above it all, she's patriotic and committed to this country. Kim Trudeau is not about herself. She's never been about herself.
No, she's not.
I have seen individuals with the academic qualifications of Kim, but those who've entered the corporate world like Kim has done, and have gone off and sat on the couch with the remote and criticized individuals like Kim and I who dare to enter the political forum. A lot of armchair critics who will go on the social media and talk about where people look, how broad their noses are, the size of their breasts, all sorts of silly things, but will never address the fundamental issues of this country. And I say tonight, ladies and gentlemen, that I stand steadfast in the view that we must extend respect to every man and woman who decides to enter the political sphere in this small society in Barbados. I can tell you, after being formally at this level for the last 10 years, you take the intestinal fortitude of a dinosaur to enter and remain in politics. And I know that Kim Trudeau has the intestinal fortitude of many dinosaurs. And she will do well. And her opponent, Ronald Topping, who's only claim to Topping. Ronald Topping. Topping.
That's what we're going to do with him.
Ronald Topping, whose only claim to fame in the political development of Barbados has been the most fiery cabinet minister from any government. Nothing of substance whatever. I look forward to come the end of May or June, whenever Parliament reconvenes to see Kim Tudor with all of her gracefulness and intellect walking up the steps of Parliament, taking her rightful place as parliamentary representative in Michael North. And with all of the support of all of you husband gardens, husband heights, and all around, I too shall walk alongside her as your parliamentary representative.
Go forward.
Stephen Lashley. Why he may not have the physical stature of individuals like myself in terms of height, let us never diminish his intellectual capacity and his passion for this country. You see, ladies and gentlemen, politics is serious business. There are some on the other side who judge politics according to the house you live in, according to the car you drive, according to the school you went to. But what I've realized in individuals like my comrade Stephen Lashley, it is about your passion and commitment for moving this country forward. And I stand here before you, husband gardens, tonight, in a place where Stephen Lashley resided for about 8 years or so, and say to you that I'm extremely proud to call Stephen Lashley a colleague and a comrade. He has done extremely well, not only for his constituency, but for his ministry. And then when I reflect on all that we've struggled and challenged ourselves with in this country over the last 10 years or so, when it came to the mantra that Barbados is not just an economy but a society, Stephen Lashley embellished that aspect of Barbados being a society. As Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, he has gotten in there and he has reminded all and sundry of what is so unique about Barbados. So when we attain UNESCO status in terms of British and surrounding areas as historical society, it was Stephen Lashley who led the battle. When you look at the fact that in the recent years there have been no controversies in respect of our crop over season, you can blame it on the steadfast and forceful leadership of Stephen Lashley. And when I reflect on the innovative programs for young people in Barbados, where we sought to encourage and empower all young people to achieve their full potential, it was because of the vibrant leadership of Stephen Lashley. And that is why I'm satisfied. Come May 24th, no matter all the celebrations on East Coast Road on the weekend or whatever, the young people of this nation, of this constituency, will recognize the immense contribution, the vision and the leadership of Stephen Lashley. So ladies and gentlemen, in thanking my two colleagues in this campaign, I reflect upon St. James South, because at the end of the day, I come before you, humble myself, and offer myself to continue to be a parliamentary representative, because I firmly believe that I've done well enough in St. James South to earn that type of gain. I came into this constituency some 16 or 18 years ago as an ordinary citizen, recognizing that it was a good place to be. My wife and our two sons, we journeyed from Bayfield St. Philip. And let me make it abundantly clear, I make no apologies for this. I'm extremely proud of my roots in Bayfield St. Philip. I'm extremely proud of the fact that my father was a fisherman and my mother was a seamstress and then eventually agricultural labor. It is that steadfast, solid Christian upbringing that's gotten me where I am today. I will never forget from whence I've come. No matter the size of my house or the type of the car I drive, And I'm going to deal with Sandra, husband, and Kerry Simmons for their nasty folly that they keep talking about the place. Because nobody ever see me in court unless I'm there as a witness. But ladies and gentlemen, in Husband Gardens and surrounding areas, Barbados is at a very serious point in its development. And we cannot discount that. I stand before you as a member of the Democratic Labour Party team that have been in charge in the administration of this country for the last 10 years. We have taken our lick, some justified and perhaps some not justified. And I'm going to spend and exhaust every sinew in my body over the next 3 weeks explaining and defending the leadership of this country on the Democratic Labour Party. But more importantly, engaging with you about the future. Because I am not one to spend a lot of my time focusing on the past. The past is important, not discounted it. Because if you don't know from whence you've come, you will not know from where you're going. By the end of the day, I know that the young people like my 2 sons, one who was pregnant, oh yeah, come. He's not as handsome as I am. This is my oldest son. That's my firstborn. He and I can see eye to eye only because of her height. But I stand before you, not just about the past, but about the future. My children's future, your children's future, your grandchildren's future. Not about me. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to face certain realities in this country. Kim Tudor, my good friend, has spoken eloquently about some of the issues. Stephen Lashley has spoken eloquently about some of them.
That's right.
You know that when you reflect upon Kim Tudor's speech and Stephen Lashley's speech here tonight, they never got into anybody's bedroom business. They never called any person's name in a derogatory manner. We stuck to the issues. And I want you, the people of Husband Gardens and surrounding areas, to understand this. This is not a circus. We are at a serious time in our development. As a matter of fact, I liken it on what Arabara went through in the late 50s and the early 60s. When he started to say we have to move Barbados from a village into a modern nation. When we started to look at creating educational opportunities. And I want you, the older folks in this community, to remind the younger people of that struggle so that they appreciate from whence we have come. And today's deliberation is perhaps positive in the same perspective. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to speak with you tonight in a very serious tone about Barbados in 2018 and beyond that. And in so doing, we have to frontally address some of the issues that have confronted this nation in the last 10 years. You're going to hear that Barbados has gone to hell in a handbasket. That is not true. If there's one thing that I've consistently, privately and publicly criticized my own party and the government of which I am part of, is that we have not done a good job at communicating. I always believe in being very frank on matters. You may not like me, but the James, I can speak my own mind. That's good. We have done well as a government under the most trying of circumstances, but we've not done a good job in explaining to the country the challenges, the decisions we've taken, and why we had to take those decisions. And we're going to do all these things over the next couple of days. But in so doing, we're going to say also about the future. We came into office in 2008. Believing all was reasonably okay. There were some fundamental issues that we addressed in 2007 campaign. Leadership issues, corruption, all sorts of matters. But then we were hit with the global financial crisis in 2009-10. And let me say up front, in 2018, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. But suffice to say that that exemplified an opportunity for us to really understand the structural deficiencies in this economy. And for all the economists and public finance officials out there and whatnot, the reality about it, as I simply say, Barbados is leading a life of a lie for too long. And the Roosters had to come home. So we faced with that reality, had to make certain decisions. And in summary, and I empathize and sympathize with all those who've gone through this struggle, we had to rein in the cost of running the government of this society. We've not fully gotten there, but we started the process. So let us not run away from certain realities. What are some of the things that we did as a government? We reduced the size of the public sector by 3,000 workers or so. That is the reality. I'm not going to run away from that. We introduced a 20% fee on our students in the University of West Indies to pay 20% of the cost of education. That is a fact. Let us not run away from that. We introduced municipal solid waste tax. We increased taxation in terms of VAT. We introduced the National Social Responsibility Levy and maybe other taxes. That is a fact. Democratic Labour Party supporters, please do not run away from reality. What we have to do is explain to people why we did what we had to do. And simply put, we were faced with a situation where the cost of running the public service has spiraled to the point where the revenues we were taking in could not sustain that. The University of the West Indies, for example, that has been a big issue. So when we started Barbadian students going there, you had to pay 20% of the cost of tuition, which averages about $6,000 a year or so. It was because we recognized it was not sustainable. And we have to be frank with ourselves. You know, I hear the average Barbadian talk about what they're paying taxes. But what we never have a conversation about is where those taxes are going. They're going towards the University of West Indies, for example, where today the cost of the taxpayers of Barbados is about $130 billion per year. That is what is costing us to run the University of West Indies. And then when you add to that the cost of healthcare, infrastructure and such like, we need to ask ourselves, is it really practical and sustainable? So we had to make some adjustments. We had a situation where, yes, there was a reduction in the level of public service, but then we had to start printing money through the central bank. And let's say, I keep saying all the people all the time, you have to face reality. As a politician representing people of St. James South, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that I've been honest with you. You may not like everything I've said and everything I've done and every decision I've taken, but at least you ought to believe and accept that I've been very honest with you. Unlike those Latter-day Saints who walk around this constituency today, promising all sorts of things, behaving as though they're washed in the bloody lamb, criticizing everything but offering no alternative whatsoever. We don't need that in St. James South. I commit to you as your continuing parliamentary representative to be honest and forthright and frank with you on everything in this country that comes under my domain. So we had to make some fundamental adjustments in this country. And as a country, as a government, we decided, look, there are a couple of options. There are two options really. Get harsh, use a sharp cutlass and just cut willy-nilly, or do things in a gradual manner. And we can all argue about these processes. But we decided as a government that if you had to send home couple thousand more workers. Do as others propose to cut back drastically on the free healthcare services, cut back on healthcare and education center, that there will be social dislocation that will wreak havoc, not on this generation alone, but perhaps on the next 2 generations. And we decided, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to make a more gradual approach on the matter. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are where we are today. We can safely stand before you and say to my constituents in St. James South that when you dismiss all of the noise and the propaganda, you have to accept that this Democratic Labour Party has kept this ship afloat over the last couple of years. And there are a couple of incidents to that, which I'll speak to briefly before we get into the future. Because I firmly believe that this discourse in this election can't be just about the past, can't be just about Founders Short and Mayor Motley. It has to be about the future. When you look at healthcare, for example, I remember as the Minister of Health, and all of you here in St. James South, I thank you for walking that journey with me, going through the pain that I would have gone through. Because I realized when I joined that ministry in 2008 that it could not be business as usual.
You did a good job.
And we did whatever we had to do without fear or favor to ensure that the public healthcare system in Barbados did not crumble. Today, I can stand before you and I challenge anybody in the opposition party to query this. That we have a healthcare system in Barbados that whilst it is not perfect, it is the best in the Caribbean.
Yes.
I'm extremely proud of the quality of doctors we have in this country. I'm extremely proud of the quality of nurses we have in this country. I'm extremely proud of the quality of pharmacists we have in this country. But when I was there in that ministry, we said, look, what it took to finance this sector was not sustainable. You remember the licks we took in reforming the Barbados Drug Service?
Yes, we did.
When I joined that ministry, the Barbados Drug Service in 2010-11 financial year was costing taxpayers in this country $53 million to run it. And based on historical data, it was growing at a rate of 10% per annum. We took some firm decisions to reform that sector. I heard some doctors saying that babies are dying. You're going to give inferior medication, all sorts of things. It's going to crumble. Pharmacies get shut down. Today in 2018, ladies and gentlemen, residents of Husband Gardens, no pharmacies are closed. The cost of running the Barbados Drug Service now has climbed down from $53 million a year to $20 million a year. I don't ask for no accolades and no rewards whatsoever. All I ask is for you to appreciate that in the most of trans circumstances, what you need are men and women of integrity who are prepared not to be bought by those who have a vested interest, but those who are prepared to do what is in the best interest of this country. And I, Donald Only Ennis, stand before you and say to you once again, I will continue in that vein no matter where I am.
All right, you did a good job.
We reformed the entire QEH.
Keep talking.
Made it a lot more hospitable than you ever had before. We did well. Nobody will ever thank us for that. They were talking about waiting times and missing this and whatnot. Those are important, yes, but the grand scheme of things, the Democratic Labour Party, under the most strenuous circumstances, did not allow the public healthcare system to crumble.
Thanks to you.
And that is important, and I will speak to it every night in this campaign. Because you see the people who live at Husband Gardens, you have struggled. You have built your home. You pay your mortgage. You pay your car loans. You educate your children. But the day that ill health falls upon you, we don't want you to be in a situation where you have to sell that house and that car to take care of your health care system. That is the commitment Democratic Party has made to you over years, and we still stand fast in that. So we've done well in terms of health care under the most trying circumstances.
Very
And I want my colleagues in the Democratic Labour Party not to be distracted by the pomp and pageantry and the propaganda of the Barry Party, but reflect upon what we have done as a political party, as a government, under the most trying circumstances. And first, I'm concerned our stabilization and growth in the healthcare system is something that each one of us in Husband Gardens can be extremely proud of. The other point that's dear to us all is education. Eric Barrow, one of the founders and greatest leaders of this political party and this nation, invested heavily in education because he took a position that don't matter the circumstances of your birth, you must not be denied an opportunity to reach your full potential because the educational opportunities available to you. And you heard from Kim Tudor tonight, from Brayton St. Philip, a working class village. If Kim Tudor had not had the opportunities provided by the Democratic Party, she could not be where she is today. You heard from Stephen Lashley, the son and the prodigy of a working class family in St. John. If those opportunities are not available, he could not be where he is today. And I stand before you as the humble son of a working class family in St. Philip too. If those opportunities are not available, perhaps God knows where we will be today. But we cannot squander those. And the Democratic Labour Party realized that the fundamental difference between the Barbados Party and the Democratic Labour Party is that we took that investment in education a lot more seriously. For others, it was a game. And you know what? We have taken licks for our reform in financing for University of West Indies. And a lot is going to be said about that by Ron Jones and others, as it's been said before. But let me tell you all something here in Husband Gardens. Once we talk about University of West Indies, we did not realize the number of students who were being disadvantaged down the line. And in spite of the most challenging economic circumstances, this Democratic Labour Party administration has provided more sixth form schools in Barbados in the last 7 years than in the history of this country. Foundation Alexander, Aspire Memorial, St. Leonard's, we can go on. It's not just about creating it cannot just create sixth form schools. Because I realize as the parliamentary representative of this constituency that there are a number of boys and girls who had attained the age of 16, finished first form, and had no way to go. They could not get into polytechnic, they could not get into the VCC, and some of them were going to very menial jobs and feeling a sense of hopelessness. So when my opponents come around here in St. James South, ask them to explain the actions of the Democratic Labour Party in creating those educational opportunities for young men and women in this community, who before were falling through the cracks. Some of them may be getting university but failing as well. And I am proud to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, here in Husband Gardens, that the Democratic Labour Party has done well when it came to education reforms in this country. The other point I wish to speak with you about, before we get on to the future, my own ministry. Yes, I've had the task of the Ministry of Health for a couple of years, and in recent times, Industry, International Business, Commerce and Small Business Development. And I challenge anybody in the Barbados Party, UPP or any other political party, to say or to challenge me when I say to you that when it comes to international business, anybody has done more to create more products and diversify the sector than the Democratic Party. And for many of you residents of St. James South, that may not be a sexy and exciting issue, but the national business sector is the second largest contributor to the economy of Barbados, second to tourism. And we've been able to keep things afloat. In 2010-11, we started to lose about $200 million per year in tax revenue from that sector. Not because of myself, not because of Founders Short, not because of George Hatson was the minister back then, but because the Canadian authorities made some changes that started to impact upon the sector beyond our control. But we have kept things together, added more double taxation agreements. We signed on the mutual agreement for avoidance of tax and whatnot around the place. Barbados has been punching above its weight again in the international business sector. In industry and commerce, we have done very well in that respect too. I have led delegations of businesses in Barbados, the Caribbean Islands, and further afield to spread our wings in terms of the exports of goods and services. And we've seen some growth in that export sector as well. We did not sit down and quarrel about the world economy and recession and deficit and these things. We said, look, ladies and gentlemen, we have to get up and go out there and sell our goods and services outside of our market. And we've done it in Guyana, in Cuba, in St. Lucia, St. Vincent, North America. But there's much more to be done. And if there's one thing I want us to focus on going forward, it's creating a greater entrepreneurial class in this society. I am deeply troubled about the fact that too many of us Barbadians have become too complacent and believe as though the state will pay for everything, as though the opportunities don't exist. We are prepared to sit here in Barbados and buy goods and services for everybody, but we are not prepared sometimes to find that strength and that intestinal